Hey everyone, Forgotten Coins here. Today I wanted to unbox a mystery grab bag I got from somebody on Instagram. Um, they sold them individually and you don't know what's in them, but I bought three of them. It's from a relatively well-known seller on Instagram. Depending on how this goes, I'll possibly link them in the description below. Um, But so I bought three. They were priced at $35 a piece. So I paid $105 for all three of them shipped. And they guesstimated that retail value for each one would be $60 per package. So if we're doing our math right, that's $180 value here for $105. But we'll kind of try and keep track of things as we go here, and kind of see where we end up being. So I'm gonna open the package here. There's a business card. All right, so I took out their business card, but if this goes well, then I'll show off who they are. So we'll start from the top here. Right off, we have a 1947 wheat penny, which looks like it's labeled as a double die obverse. Let's see if we can take it out. The flip's all scratched up. Now, I'm not entirely familiar off the top of my head with the exact double die obverses that they have. We'll see if we can find it, if my lens wants to cooperate here. Now, typically when you get double dies, it's often in the lettering. And I think that's what we have going on here. Sorry, my lens is getting all fogged up. But I'll have to look into that one. This is a 1967 Philadelphia double die reverse. 1967 is 40% silver. It's actually pretty nice condition, definitely mint state. Probably a 64, I'm guessing. 135, I'm not sure if that's either an item number or their estimated value, but we'll take a look. I do know that some of these Canadian half dollars can have quite an apparent double die. So you see this? You see how there's this spotting here, kind of this haziness right by his jawline and right in between the L and In God We Trust. That's likely either a form of PVC or water spots, but that's something that you wouldn't end up getting straight graded at any of the major third-party graders. But what's good about it is that this isn't degraded into the coin enough that it should just come off real easily with just some acetone. That doesn't harm any of the surfaces of the coin. It doesn't harm any of the toning. It just removes organics, and maybe we can go into another video one day about acetone. But since it's a larger coin, it should be easier on this one than some of the others. And I'm not sure why my tape keeps fogging up. Let's try another one. Now again, with this one, I believe it's usually in the lettering, and this one's fogging up too. Yeah, I think I see some in the O and the L of dollar. FG is pretty strong too. And you can see a bit more of that PVC right on that. I'd say it's about the fourth dot in. You see that little green spot? Get my pointer out. It's right about here. So that just shows that this coin was exposed to PVC, but again, that should be able to come right off. No problem. What do we have here? Looks just like a really nice 1958D wheat cent. And likely, I'm assuming another one. Yep. And I'll have to get these, you know, in better lighting as far as if they're worth grading. They both seem like that they would come out as red, full red coins. But I think you still need a decently high grade to have those come out graded. Have here, oh, nice. We'll take these out as well. It's not too high of grade, but they're nice for any type of typesets. So an 1869, I believe. Yep. 1869 shield nickel. And you can see all this green, again, that's more PVC. This one's more developed than the other one, which some of this will come off, but again, it's already, you can see some of the coin has started to corrode. But, you know, we can always stop this. And when you get them in hand, you can actually feel it's a little bit sticky too. That's kind of one way to tell, you know, if it's actual PVC other than the color. It's just kind of the texture of it, because this one's going up on the rim, so I can feel it, you know, when I pinch the coin. But just, again, make sure to wash your hands after you handle coins with PVC, because you don't want to get that stuff, you know, on the rest of the coins in your collection. It's a really nice piece. This looks like a Flying Eagle cent, unless it's the Indian head cent. I think it's 1859. A little bit bent, and nope, that's a nice Flying Eagle cent. 1853 it looks like. What's really cool about the Flying Eagle cents is you can actually find some really nice die clashes with these. This one, I don't think that there's any form of way to tell with the condition of it, but there are some markers on, you can find it on PCGS, NGC, or, you know, just through general research, finding there clashes with either the 25-cent piece or even the $20 gold piece as well. And there's speculation on whether that was done accidentally or intentionally. But nonetheless, a really cool piece. And Flying Eagles in any condition are typically worth a good amount, at least compared to their Indian headset counterparts. See if we can get this a little bit. I always get freaked out a bit by flips, because you have a lot of history with staple scratches. So what I'm actually going to do, and it may seem to some people a bit scary, but I'd rather cut the plastic out and then push the coin through that section of the plastic, or rip the plastic out, than dealing with the coin accidentally getting scratched on the staples. This is a nice 1856 half dime. I'm actually not sure if I need it for my set. It's a details coin, it's cleaned, and it's got a little bit of a cut down here in United. But they're always, it's crazy to me how thin they get. They're always really nice to have, and you don't see them come up too often unless someone's specifically looking to collect one. So it's awesome that I'm pretty happy with the variety included in the grab bag. It looks like that they've offered for say, less items but higher value items, and what looks to be here is a 1964 mint set, and contrary to popular belief, these sets did not come sealed from the original mint. They were just stored unsealed and sent out that way. The way that they ended up getting sealed was by sitting on top of each other in storage, and having the heat actually slightly adhere the adhesive to this paper. And there's Chris over at Coin Table. He's got a couple good videos explaining what to look out for on original sets, as far as the line work and the way that the coins are set up in these sets. But I'm curious on if this one has any color. Oh, interesting about how much material he ended up in with. I was actually on the outside of I think that's pollen. So we want to look for, on at least the first thing for these 1964 mint cents, is actually the accented hair Kennedy half. And this nickel is pretty nice. It's almost semi-proof like on the reverse. And the Elbrus too. And the biggest tell on these 1964 sets is that let's see if we have one. So it does not look like we have the accented hair Kennedy half dollar. You can tell that by, on the bottom left section of the eye, the serif is still there. On the actual accented hair Kennedy half dollars, that serif will be almost polished away. And it's hard to tell, if it's accented hair or not when you look at the actual hair, because it can get kind of confusing. So that's why people use that eye serif on the Kennedy half to kind of tell the difference or not. But these coins are pretty decent. I'll have to look at them at a better lighting to tell on if they're worth cutting out, because on these 1964s they produce so many of them that you got to get a pretty high grade to actually have something worth sending in. So let me get back to you all. Let me do some research on these coins, and I'll get back to the results. All right, so I've looked into some things, and I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about this grab bag. It really, I like the variety. It really comes down to these two pieces up here and confirming if they're, what it says on the tag, that they're both double dies. As far as the proof set, nice coins, always good to have around. It's probably about $20. These 2 cents are really nice. For the 58D and 57D, you really need to get them in a 67 grade. And the 57D I don't think is nice enough. It's got a bit of chatter, but this 58 is really nice. I'm actually almost considering it. Even the jump from 66 to 67 is kind of absurd, but what I really like about it is actually a later die state coin. You can see actually a bit of a cud on the T in cent. Just on that vertical line of it. And you see a die crack just along the edge of this wheat stalk that goes right into the rim. But I don't often see the cuds on the T and cent that often. It looks like a bit of almost a form of a issue with the planchet on the C of America. You see how it kind of jumps up and over. It's not a scratch. It just looks like a little bit of abnormalities. It's a really nice piece. So the wheat cents are probably $5 a piece, unless they, come out to be graded. That's a whole other thing, right? But as of now, they're probably about $5 each. So you have 20 and 10, it comes out to be 30. The Flying Eagle cents, they're always, in good demand, even in crappy condition. Maybe about $30 altogether with these type coins. But the real big question is on these 2 varieties. They claim that it's a double die obverse, and I looked it up for the 1947. There should be doubling in both the date, Liberty, and Trust. And it should be, or at least you're supposed to see, that bottom right cross serif on the 4. It's supposed to come out down into the right, but I don't see anything there. And on Trust, it's supposed to see it on the left side, especially on that S and the U, and I don't see anything here. And so I might have to chat with the seller a little bit to kind of see what they saw. Sorry, I can't get it real well on here, but to my eyes, I don't see what at least Variety Vista was showing me for this coin, and same with the 1967 double die reverse. There's supposed to be doubling all up along all these sections of the stars, and as well as a bit on the lettering, but the stars is supposed to be the largest indicator, but unfortunately I only see it on a couple of the stars. So on those arms that extend out horizontally on the stars, for both the upper layer and lower layer of the stars, you're supposed to see doubling on nearly all of them, but if anything, I only see it on a couple. So it could be, that's one of the big problems with varieties is misattribution. People, think they have the real thing, and, they're, trying to convince themselves that they do and seeing things that they're not. So that's why it's always nice to have kind of a third party look at them, and I guess also why people send them in for grading, but just taking pictures and sending them to your friends that you have in the collecting community about, hey, what do you think this is? Is this anything? Because we, induce our own bias, especially when it comes to, something being monetarily involved. But if this is the DDR, then the pricing down here for 135 is about right. I mean, retail's price guide is showing 160, but for N64 they sell for about $100. And I mean, the 47 DDO, they didn't have anything that I saw as far as that lower grade, but I mean, I might just have to take a look at them another day. Maybe my eyes just aren't good today, but if they are what they say they are, great value in the package, that Kennedy half is definitely worth sending in. And even one of these wheat cents might be able to get tossed in through an economy submission. And the type coins are always really nice to throw in a type set, if that's what you're working on. But yeah, if they're not, then that's something that I'm going to have to talk with seller about and kind of see if we can get that sorted out. But if any of you guys have any, better idea on what those varieties could be, let me know. And that's gonna kind of wrap it up for me today. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.